This is the second time I backed it up and missed this trailer. You really have three options. You can get a buddy to help you back it up. You can back it up till you hit the bumper, which I've done here already, or you can get a backup camera. We're gonna choose number 3. We're gonna put a backup camera on this pickup truck, and we're gonna accessorize it from the front all the way to the back today on Tech Garage. Welcome to Tech Garage, presented by Advance Auto Parts. Now, there's a lot of cool accessories you can put on your vehicle, and we're going to address quite a few of them right here in our Dodge Ram pickup truck. We're going to start at the rear of the truck. We're going to work our way all the way to the front, and you know, this truck's going to look good.
And John, this truck is a prime candidate for some functional upgrades and accessories. At this stage of the game on a 2009 truck with high mileage, a lot of people tend to trade in the vehicle or replace it to get something new to them. We're going to use the right upgrades and do this in the right way so that this thing can go a lot more miles. You know, it's been kept in really good shape mechanically, and I think we're going to have an awesome truck here at the end of the project. We're going to start with a wireless backup camera, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute, but it's very easy to install.
Yeah, you know, and then we're going to go put a tonneau cover in. Lund sent us a tonneau cover. You know, the bed's in pretty good shape. It's got a bed liner. You can put and haul whatever you want in there. You may want to go get an air compressor, whatever it is, but it's going to fit in there. It's going to tow with it, and it's going to look good.
Functionally beneficial. You know, we've got eyes behind the vehicle with the camera. We also want better vision down the sides of the vehicle once we're out on the road towing. So we're going to install new side mirrors that are actually a lot wider and give you better visibility down the fenders and the full length of the trailer, so anything we haul, we can be safer as we do it.
We'll head to the front of the truck. We actually have a Lund bull bar that's going to go on the front. You know, I love to look at those Dodge grills and the beefiness of them and how it is, so it's going to protect the grill first and foremost, but we also have some cool LED lighting that goes right in there. It's actually right from Lund. It's going to light up miles ahead. You're not going to have any problem with visibility.
I love those new LED lights. We're going to cap it off with some new Nerf bars that Lund gave us that go on the sides of the vehicle, and of course anybody can install these, and we're going to show anybody how they can take that project and be a little bit smarter about it.
Yeah, and I got a big surprise coming a little bit later that's really going to make it look good. But here's the deal. All that stuff's modular. You can take it off. This truck's been across the line. You could use it on the same Dodge pickup trucks. But you know, this owner, he actually loves this truck. So like you said, when he walks out in the morning, it's going to be like a brand new truck. I can't wait.
I got some wiring to do. I'm going to go ahead and get this rear camera installed.
Well, while you do that, I want to teach you on some good wire practices. So I'm going to head over and set up that demo.
So the first thing is the rear camera here from Peak just uses the license plate mounting bolts to install it. The bracket goes in very easily, but we've got to power this camera. So we're going to do that by tapping into the reverse bulb here. 2 bolts hold this rear lamp assembly in from Dodge, very easy to get to, and I'm going to go ahead and get that process underway.
Now let's establish some good wiring practices. Now, Peak actually gives you a connector just like this here. You can put both wires in, close it, you got a connection, you're good to go. But there's a couple other practices I would like to look at. Now, Brian, he's going to take a butt connector back there. He's going to put the 2 wires together, butt connect it, and then put some shrink wrap over it. That's fine too. Now we can take it to the next level. You can see right here, we can use some solder on the wires. This one actually has 3 connections here. You got a Western Union, you got a pigtail, and you got a T-type, but they're all soldered. And we'll go over here and put a butt connector together with some shrink wrap, and we'll solder it. So you'll have a foolproof, no resistance in the wire at all cable. And I'll show you how to do that. And what I did is I just took the actual butt connector here, and I like to just get the center portion out of it. So I'll take this little punch and I'll hit down on it, knock it down to the other side. When I get it there, it's tricky. You can use a razor and cut it. It might be a little more dangerous. Then what I'm going to do is take my pliers, hold on to the plastic portion, and then I'm just going to hit down on the pliers lightly, and hopefully the centerpiece will come right out. And that's what we're looking for. And we're going to use that to actually catch our solder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that, I'm going to put it on our wire right here. When I put it on our wire, I can go ahead and put the wire on the other side, and we're going to heat it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire up this torch. And then what we can do is I'm going to use this little arm here to position it into the heat. Now, solder is pretty cool. If you use rosin core solder for electrical, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on there, and you'll see the solder will actually wick towards the heat source. So there it goes. It's starting to fill it up. You can see it go in there. So what's happening? Well, the solder's making a complete joint all the way through there. All right. Once we do that, you get that joint filled up. I'll take my heat source away. When I take my heat source away, I'll just come over here and put a cold rag or damp rag on it. And what that's going to do is actually, that's it. You can't pull that apart. That's a tight wire connection, and there's going to be no resistance. Now to finish it off, I'm just going to get some shrink wrap, come over with my shrink wrap, put my shrink wrap on. Now if you have a connector, make sure you put the shrink wrap on first. Come over the wire harness itself, and then I'm going to protect any of that bare wire right there. Take my heat source once again, and I'm just going to heat up that shrink wrap. Now why do I want to do that? You may be dealing with computer circuits, you may be dealing with some low amp circuits. Right there, now I got a beautiful wire harness that has absolutely no resistance from one side to the other. It's not going to come apart. What you don't want to do is butt connect one that looks like this right here. You got all the wires out because the electricity is not going to flow through it. Our camera may not work proper, but once Brian gets that all taken care of, our camera is going to be in good shape.
That is great advice. All right, the rear backup camera here from Peak, 2 mounting bolts. I mentioned the license plate. I've got the second one in, got it snug. Go back and make sure we're good. Now, when you're installing a rear backup camera, a couple things to be considerate of. It's easy work, but you want to make sure that the tailgate clears. So as I look down here, I got plenty of room, over 1 inch of clearance. We're not going to disturb the camera. We're in good shape. We've got the wiring for the camera that's going to the lamp assembly run out of the way. It's not going to get pinched in the tailgate. There's no metal to wire contact anywhere along the way. I got a few zip ties up there to hold it in place. So with this back here, the next step is to power the camera. To do that, we come over and remove the lamp assembly. I've already got 1 bolt out. There's just 2 on our Dodge Ram. They back right out, and you can see that the assembly is loose. So we're gingerly going to work it out. Now there's 2 kind of grommet supports right here. You don't want to over encourage this and break anything. Just slip it right out. And there we go. Now to give myself some room to work, I'm going to go ahead and remove both of the bulbs so I can get this lamp assembly out of the way. And I've pre-run the wire for the camera so that it's up into that same cavity. Set this out of the way. Now, snip and strip, positive and ground. Couldn't possibly be any easier. Again, I've got the camera wire right here, and this, you'll notice on the Peak wiring harness here, there's some good insulation on the outside. The back of the vehicle takes the brunt of everything. If it's a nice clean rain you're driving in, you got the dirtiest rain at the back of the vehicle. Snow, slush, salt, mud, sand, you know you've been there, right? So anywhere you've got an electrical connection, you want to make sure it's really well insulated and really well protected. This has a nice coating on it. Otherwise, I've been known to use a piece of vacuum tubing or fuel line I've got lying around to create just a little bit of a barrier between any metal and wire contact. We're in good shape here. So I'm going to go ahead and snip the positive, give myself plenty of lead on either side here. Snip and snip. Set that out of the way, strip it down. Again, we're going to use good connectors here with some heat shrink. More insulation keeps the connection tighter and better, more uniform. Expose yourself enough wire here that you can get a connector crimped down really tight. That's why I like to have the lamp assembly out of the way so I can get some torque on that connection and make sure we're in good shape. Okay, so I got my copper exposed. Another good tip is dielectric gel. That's nice because it's an insulator back here. And again, you can never have too much insulation when you've got vehicle wiring at the back of the vehicle. So let me find my camera harness. We're going to come right through here. I'm going to go ahead and work that slack wire back down and use a zip tie and crimp it off underneath as well. So black to black, red to red. Couldn't possibly be any easier. I'm going to get this buttoned up and crimped in. And I'm going to put some heat shrink on it. And you're going to see how awesome this is going to work after the break. Stay with us. More Tech Garage presented by Advance Auto Parts is next.
This edition of Tech Garage, presented by Advance Auto Parts, is being brought to you by Dayco, the original power in motion. Stage 8, the world's best locking fastener. Steel Rubber, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. And by Advance Auto Parts, let's get you back to the garage.
Well, welcome back to Tech Garage, presented by Advance Auto Parts. This is the backup camera. John's actually got this truck in reverse, but I'm grateful the engine's not running. How's it look?
Well, the image is a little rough, Brian. Oh, that's just you. Hey, we got 110 viewing angle here. Backing up's not going to be a problem. It's clear as a bell. It's like watching a movie.
Well, it looks great. One other thing I really like about this Peak backup camera is the infrared lights that are on board. Definitely helps with low lighting, nighttime getting connected to the trailer, which is what we were really looking for. Functional purpose. We also have great connections over here at the tail lamp assembly, butt connectors, they're crimped well, heat shrink, just like Coach John told us. So all we've got left to do back here, John's, a tonneau cover.
Yeah, and Lund sent us this tonneau cover. This is phenomenal. You actually have this clip system right here. Just put it on, fold it out. It's going to actually latch right here on the bed itself. Got a weather-resistant seal right here, so when it goes down, you'll be able to put it on there, no problems. Also has a tear resistance cover. This thing's sharp. Now, Brian, gone are the days of those big, bulky tonneau covers that are hard to put on. Watch this.
I hated that. You know, you climb up in the bed and you've got those aluminum connectors and clamps, and you knew you were tearing up the paint as you were installing them. I love the fact that these are polyurethane, sets right down in place. Now, we want to make sure our spacing is good, not only side to side. We've got to grab this rail to get the weatherproofing. Cab to the front, I'm good, you're good.
Straight as an
We're
arrow.
in good shape.
It's got a little latch there. Just put it on
Clamp
the
comes
edge. You can
down,
probably feel
it
it.
grabs.
If you can't get it, that's fine.
Yep, that's good.
Perfect. All right,
And
fold it down.
roll it down.
Look at that.
This is tremendous. Now, one person could do this, but it's nice to have a second set of hands, just so you don't tear anything up on the new cover or on the paint. We're in
Tell
good
you
shape.
what, you button this up, I got a little work in the cab.
Great.
Well, we're going to put our LED lighting on the bull bar in front a little bit later. But while we're in here, we might as well go ahead and wire up the switch. First thing I want to do, though, is I want to get our nice camera here out of the way, because I'm going to pull the panel off to get access to it, and I don't want to do any damage to that. Now, that's nice. It comes right off. Now, what we did is we took our switch. Our switch is going to go to the actual lighting up front, the LED lighting. I have it right here. And if I can kind of paint a picture for you, this is going to need power and ground. So what we did outside is we took the power wire and we ran it directly to the battery. Then we took a ground wire, and you can see it right here. We run it all the way up through the actual bulkhead, the firewall of the car, and we come inside here. Now that's pretty cool because you really only need to run one wire through there. We're going to interrupt the ground side, and that's going to turn on our LED lighting. And you can see on the other side of the switch, I got it wired up here to nothing more than a short pigtail. Up under the dash, I'll locate a chassis ground. I'll be able to take that off, make sure it's clean, put that on there, and that'll interrupt the ground side. That's nice because you don't have many sparks or anything going on the ground side. Plus, I don't have to run two wires. But to mount the switch, I gotta find out a location where you want to mount it. And there's a few things to consider. First of all, I don't want to put it somewhere where I'm going to kick it with my leg every time I get in there. I want to mount it somewhere where it's going to be safe, and I want it to look good as well. And I'm dealing with this panel here. Some cars, you may even have some knee bolster airbags, so you want to be careful with that. So I went ahead and I unscrewed ours from here with 2 screws on the bottom and popped it down and just took a good visual look. Well, I'm clear right through here. There's nothing there. It's nothing more than a piece of plastic. So we can go ahead and drill that out. I'll pop it back up just to hold it so we can drill it. Got a little step bit right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to locate it right here. So I'm going to drill into the panel right here. I know there's nothing behind there. And as I drill in, it's nice because it just takes a few steps at a time. All right, I got to the next bit hole there. Let's run a test fit, make sure we're all right. That one's perfect. All right, now all we have to do is pop off your panel again, take the switch through the back. Look at that. Perfect fit. Got a little tab on my switch, so I'm going to put that through that little hole there. And then I'm going to come over and put the nut on there to hold it real nice. I'll button all that up, but that's pretty sharp. Now I'll get the rest of this wired up, and I'm also going to take the door panel off, so when you come back, we can put the mirrors on. We'll be right back with more Tech Garage presented by Advance Auto Parts. Well, welcome back to Tech Garage. Now we're in the process of taking our door panel off, and ours was pretty simple. We took a screw out by the door handle there, which was a Phillips head, and then I went around the door and I had these little Torx screws. I got a T20 Torx here. I just unscrewed it, popped it out, and I had a little retaining clip. But when you're working with the door panel, be careful. There's hidden screws, there's clips. You may even need some specialty tools to pop your door panel off. Ours is pretty simple. I got those out. Now all I'm going to do here is just pop the panel off here at the top. Once I got the panel off, I can actually gain access to the mirror, nuts and bolts there, but we have some electric going down to the door panel. We're gonna have to go down there and see what's going on. So I lift that up like that, and then be careful, get the door handle out, and I actually have a mirror retaining clip, and I have a wire here that's actually going to the actual door lock switches here and the window. So you want to unplug that. Set your door panel down somewhere safe. That's the interior of your car. Make sure you don't scratch it up. Then I come in here, you can see the actual harness right here. It plugs into a module. I get that unplugged and my mirror is ready to go. Now all I need to do is take a wrench and get rid of some of these bolts holding it on here. And I can see it flopping down. Brian, you want to give me a hand?
Yep, great timing. I got the new mirror right here. I'll support this as we take it off.
All right, one more.
Good. All right.
Good
that's
time to
off.
have a buddy here on the
Let that
outside.
Wiring harness pass through. Perfect.
Perfect.
We're going to reverse that procedure. Here's the new mirror.
Nice.
Go ahead and send this in.
There you go.
Okay, perfect.
Look at that. That's like an OEM fit.
Perfect fit.
Yeah.
Right there.
Beautiful. All right, hold it there for a second.
Got
Let
it.
me get these started on here. So it's not going to go anywhere. That's make sure it's good and secure.
Okay, you good?
All right, I got it.
Awesome. I'm headed to the front.
Great. All that's left now is I'm going to go ahead and reverse the procedure, but I probably don't want to go ahead and use that electric ratchet because we're talking about plastic and the studs. So I'm just going to switch over to a ratchet. I'm going to snug that up. Then what I'll do is I'll just reverse the procedure. I'll plug it back in, put my door panel on, plug everything back in, cinch it up, and we're pretty good. Brian, what you got going over there?
The bull bar mounting brackets are next. Now there's 2 of them and we got them pre-assembled. Directions were very easy. Now I also like these because they're heavy steel, heavy bolts, and they take advantage of 2 of the factory carriage bolts here that are in the end of the frame rail that hold the bumper system in place. We'll simply hang our bracket, and then there's a support bracket that also is included that comes back and takes advantage of the snowplow bracket found on Dodge Rams. This is going to add a tremendous amount of rigidity and keep the bull bar in place no matter what the driving conditions are. So let me get these brackets installed and we'll get her hung. I'm just going to snug them up so we've got some adjustment as we go here. Plow bracket, just 1 bolt there. Same thing on the other side. All right, bring in the bull bar, John.
Wow, I got the bull bar. Lund gave us this bull bar. This thing is sweet.
Love it.
Yep, it's actually got a 3.5-inch oval piping around there. Black powdered coated wrinkle finish, gorgeous. And we integrated that 20-inch light bar right in there, that LED light bar.
Love it.
Mounts right inside of there. It was so easy to do, and man, it looks great.
I got 1 in over here to hold the weight. I go ahead and get this button back up.
All right,
We're almost home.
let me get one started over here on this side for you.
Okay.
So at least to support it, I got my knee under there right now.
Yep, we're good.
You know, I left that switch on. I can't wait. Brian, I'm gonna have to go ahead and plug this LED light bar in. See what we got. Hello. 3,000 lumens. Man, that's sweet. This thing's gonna look great. All we have left is the Nerf bars and that surprise we promised at the beginning, so you don't wanna miss that. Stick around for more Tech Garage presented by Advance Auto Parts.
This edition of Tech Garage, presented by Advance Auto Parts, is being brought to you by Dustless Blasting. It's the future of surface preparation. Steel Rubber, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. MagnaFlow, we've got the power and sound you're looking for. And by Advance Auto Parts, let's get you back to the garage.
Welcome back to Tech Garage. Now, we did a lot of work on our Ram pickup truck. It's not only functional, it looks good.
It has been a busy day, from the backup camera to the tonneau cover, moving up to the side mirrors that give us better safety and driving visibility as we tow, up to the bull bar up front and that awesome LED light fixture that we mounted inside with the switch that John put in there. This thing is awesome.
Yeah, we got these Lund Nerf bars. This is the last piece of the puzzle here. This is awesome. They're 6-inch aluminum, lightweight, sport about 350 pounds. Now, the nice part is those brackets went right into the factory holes. Super easy to install.
Something a lot of people overlook when they're installing running boards or Nerf bars like these ones is something I call pitch. If you live in a climate where you got a lot of cold weather and ice and slush and snow, that can build up on these things, making it almost worse than having no step at all. So you want the slightest bit of pitch from back to the front of your running board or your Nerf bar. Now, Lund has engineered some curve in their bracket right here, making this really easy to do. I can show you with the torpedo level what I'm talking about. When I lift this up and get the bubble dead center, you can see the amount of fall we have from the back to the front. That's almost 1/4 of an inch. That's going to be plenty. This thing's going to shed all the bad stuff and really enhance the safety getting into this vehicle.
Yeah, now the big surprise. MHT Wheels hooked us up with these fuel rims and these gripper tires. Now, I just couldn't bear making this truck look the way it looks and not put some shoes on it. This is phenomenal. The grand finale, the icing on the cake.
Truly the ultimate functional upgrade to our half-ton makeover. And now all we got left is the email question of the week. John Joey from Colorado emailed us this week. He's got an 08 Chevy 4x4 pickup that he wants to add some accessory lighting to. But his question is, should he first upgrade the vehicle's electrical system? It's a good question.
Yeah, it's a great question, Joey. Now, that depends on the lighting. On our pickup truck, we use that LED light bar. It put out good light, but the key there is it drew a lot less electricity. Now, here we have a halogen and we have an LED, and I got them wired up in series so we can actually show you the amps running to them and we can show you the draw. Let's go ahead and hook them up. What do you have over there,
Light
Brian?
looks great, and we're drawing just a little over 1 amp.
Yeah, and I'm drawing between 3 and 4 amps. There's a huge difference.
Wow, Joey, I think there's your answer right there.
Yeah, now our half-ton dress up from the front to rear, our truck's looking really, really good. From our garage to your garage, thanks for watching Tech Garage.
Production assistance for Tech Garage is provided by Chipola College, located in Marianna, Florida. Founded in 1947, Chipola was recently ranked as one of the top 3 community colleges in the United States.